Good morning, Kent Bain with Nine Business Group and Elevate Chat. We have the pleasure of Lee Kryko joining us today. Lee, please introduce yourself, introduce your company name, and let us know what makes you different, what sets you apart, and how you contribute to the world.
Morning, everybody. My name is Lee Kryko. I'm the founder of the ARC, which is the Avalanche Recovery Center. We virtually help people in private across Canada. And these people are able to get over addictions 10 times better than traditional recovery methods. So we're proud to be a part of that. And we have quite a process that we're going to explore here today. So thanks for joining.
Excellent. How long have you been doing it, and what's the biggest challenge you had to overcome? Then how did you overcome it, and what's the result today?
You know, it started in 2019, but officially got off the ground in 2020. And of course, we're in pandemic times. So it actually encouraged our model of the virtual platform, which literally has proven to be so much more successful. And we can help people in remote areas. However, that challenge also allows people of certain places in society that they cannot share or go to a group, and our door is open for people of well, whatever your hierarchy might be, or I mean, there's people of all levels, all stages. What you could be a judge, you could be a public figure, but you're also a person, and if you've got an issue, you can come to us.
So I'm going to elaborate. I want to elaborate. I'm going a little off script here.
Sure.
A big part of teaching and coaching for me is sometimes we have to change a person's environment to help them change their habits and beliefs. So I think historically, my thinking is a recovery center is great because we change their habits, we take them out of their environment, and we help them find new influences. So having a remote system like that, how do you address, or does a person still need to be able to change their environment and their peer group in order to have a better support group? And how do you guys do it then?
Excellent. I'm so glad you asked that, Ken. You can change your environment wherever you are. The point is that you need to work within the environment you've got. If you just go out of the environment and come back to it, and nobody else there grew or changed and expected you to make all the difference in the world, odds are you're not the one person that needed the change. Everybody needed a change. And yes, you can drop your friends, you can get new friends, and we coach you through all those things, all those changes. That's the process. And what, like, typically, it's usually 8 to 12 weeks for a in-home treatment center. And for some people, you have kids or you have a job. Maybe it's not the right job. Maybe you do take a break. But the point is, we get you back into your environment with a new outlook and change with you, because ultimately you are the only one that can make a change.
In those 3 years, what's been the biggest challenge you faced?
The biggest challenge, I would have to say, and it's an ongoing challenge where it's educating the people, and it's about creating the awareness, giving them an outlet, giving them a choice, and having them understand what their choices are. So,
Okay. So
so,
it's
so
really
it,
it's
go ahead.
not really about business. The hardest part is really about the job you have and the service you provide.
Yeah, like when I say 10 times higher success rate, that is that's low actually by our results, but it's palatable, it's digestible by the general public, you know.
Yeah.
It's we're one-on-one, we do not do groups. And that's probably a big factor in the success that we do have. But the biggest challenge is to let people know that this service is available. And that's it.
Interesting. What is one thing you know now that you wish you would have known 3, 4 years ago before you started this entrepreneurial journey?
one thing that's interesting. One thing I'd like to have known then was because I was just prior to getting started. So at that time, I had gone through adversity myself. I I had lost uh, so much, and it was I had like chronic pain. I had lost my voice. I had lost my job because I couldn't speak. I was in a toxic relationship. My son had died, okay, at 22 years old. I was devastated. I was compensating. Depression was growing. At the time, I was actually medicating with drinking, and I came from a history where I've been clear and free of crack cocaine for well over 10, 12 years, whatever. But I ended up falling into a pitfall. And and then I decided to get some help after because I didn't think there was any way out. I didn't think that there was any support. My family offered the support, and instead of actually going through a suicide, I went to a safe place. And when I went to find it, I was looking for avalanche recovery because I knew that worked because I went through it in 1997 and it transformed my life. However, at the detox center, they said it doesn't exist. That's not possible. If you don't do our traditional system, you're gonna die. And I'm like, I don't want to. It hit me like it was a vocation. It was a calling that was brought to me that this is my responsibility. And after I had created Avalanche Recovery through, um, and it was I think in my ninth month, I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? So I tried to discount it. I tried to be my own devil's advocate and find ways of not continuing. I mean, I didn't wake up to just want to have a recovery center. That it hit me in a different way. It hit from me. It hit from the lack of in the industry. And the more I looked, the more I tried to dismantle it, the more I saw the responsibility of what it is requiring and that the people need it because I'm seeing people, I'm helping people in treatment centers. Their 10th time to a treatment center. Come on, like nobody goes to recovery for the fourth, fifth, sixth, let alone the 10th or 12th time. Like, so as I was witnessing what was going on and knowing what is not working and understanding why they're failing, I combated that with the program. So in our program, it's combined of psychologists, counseling, treatment centers, and holistic approaches from life strategists, business coaching, everything is in here because once you get sober, anybody can sober up. The question is now what? So this is where we we flourish. This is where we actually help you create a life you really enjoy, protect, and love. And
So a
that
place
what
to, so a world, a life that they want to engage in and want to be part
yes,
of. Okay.
yes, exactly. And they're happy and they enjoy the results. So their whole life is transformed through this process. And for those, like we have 4 stages. I need to let you know, like we start with 360. That is a deep dive into all sectors of their life, mental, physical, financial, social, everything. Like we go through it all. It allows us, and especially allows the person to see where their strengths, weaknesses, and what voids are in their life, which is why usually the motivating reasons for the addiction, and they live in this addiction cycle at that time, which is now history. We don't look back. because we're not going that way. What we do is we look forward, we focus on your best, we empower you, we create a new identity is stage 2. Stage 3 is discovering your real purpose, which is something so much bigger than you. And then we match that up with a very engineered vision for life so that you've got checkpoints along the way. If you want a little shot of dopamine, go back to your vision. And this whole thing is being conducted in private, right? So therefore, nobody else needs to know what you're doing. You're just actually literally, because most of the people in the life of those who are severely addicted need to shed them anyway, whether it's family or friends. And you know what? It's okay. You can do that in your environment and get out of that environment. But we will help and invest into you to do so after you get into the program. So
Fascinating.
yeah, it's been wonderful. Really just wonderful.
If when you look at if you take a step back and look at your business, if there was a pirate that came along into your business, what would they steal? What would they take from you?
Well, I hope and I invite all the pirates to come in and take everything that we do and spread it around the world. We're so blessed. We've got like people in like Ireland, Norway, like we're not just coast to coast in Canada anymore, and we're spilling over all these borders. And you know what? I discovered a company in the States. You know, it's so close to mine. I am I'm not the only one in the world, you know, and I'm discovering more of it. In fact, how about this? In Portugal, that was the worst European country in all of Europe, and they changed in 2020. And I wish Canada would do this. Wake up, Canada. Follow Portugal, because 80% improvement from crime, addiction, homeless, uh, you know, the spousal abuse. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it's basically around addiction. So what they did is they canceled the policy that, okay, drugs, drinking, all this is illegal, and punishing their people, to saying it's all allowed, it's all legal. But the most important part was the money they save from the judicial system that does not work. They put it into community programming. Connection is the opposite of addiction. And here in Canada, we're giving you a safe house and some drugs to use. Like, what is this? Is really upsetting me, but I'm saying let's look forward. Let's look to the solution. Let's see what's working. In Portugal still operates that way 22 years later. There is no way they're going back.
Fascinating. And it's interesting is they're a social state too. So they're not a capitalist state. They're very much a social state. So thank you. I love that definition of a pirate. Good for you. What is your definition of a successful business? What does it mean for your business to be successful?
I really believe that you have to have a few components. Like one would be personal fulfillment, right? You're enjoying what you're doing, and you're not a slave to the business either. You have to be able to macro manage. You can micromanage in the beginning, but macro manage to the hands coming off, to the hands coming off, and you know what, believing in the people. So that takes in my world, you pay people more money so that they are doing a better job. And you know what? They're going to protect that company, because they're not going to get that money in any other company. So they are doing more for me. They're paid for it too. Right?
Well, one last question. I think I know the answer, and I think the audience will too, but what do you want to be known for?
Reinventing people. That's it. That's what we do. We reinvent people.
Do you have a number? you have a number of people you want to help influence, reinvent, to use your word? Is it 100? Is it 1,000? Is it 100,000? Is it 1,000,000? Do you have, how do you define that? Obviously, one's enough. Helping reinventing one person is enough, but I think you have a different vision in your head.
What one is vital. You are the one. And that can spill across billions of people. And as we are changing the world, saving one life at a time, the ripple effect could go across borders. It could spill into other companies, hopefully overflow the governments, and let's transform the world, because what we're dealing with is way more than a pandemic. The numbers are way higher than COVID. And you know what? It's time to take some social responsibility. I'm going to actually join a government conference and hopefully put a voice to this. Trying to reach out to the mayor. I'm trying to do so much as an individual, and I've actually got other professionals who are all on board. I've got from nonprofit groups, dentists, I've got health organizations, mental health organizations, legal organizations. There's so much more that has like natural, like it's not even by my design. It's just what's going on. We're getting the numbers, we're getting the people, and we're getting the professionals to actually speak out and say, there is a new way. We're talking proactive healthcare instead of reactive healthcare. And that'd
be a wonderful thing. Good luck with that journey.
Yeah, well, it's a journey. So we created a fundraiser, by the way. And what we do for people who do not have purpose is we can recreate a company. And this time we created one for a family member that was, he lost his job. His significant other was diagnosed with bone cancer in the same month. It was overwhelming. You thought the sky had fallen. But at the end of this journey, over a couple years later, I knew her time was limited. What purpose is he going to have? What depression will he fall into? So I created what would be suited for him. And it's called billsbest.ca. And you know what? It's a fundraising company for any organization, whether you're a nonprofit, sports, even profit-making companies can enjoy it, because those companies, we got a promotion. Every bag you buy of pancake mix, we donate a bag to the food bank, the local food bank, the food bank of your choice. And that's just in Alberta. And it just got off the ground. It's amazing. It's amazing. And we're raising money, a lot of money for sports and nonprofits and companies. They enjoy savings and feed people who actually need food. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Pretty powerful, pretty powerful. So before we sign off, you've been a great guest. Thank for sharing and sharing your passion with us. For people who want to learn more about you, how do they find you? Website, phone number, email address, whatever. How do we connect with you?
You know, the best thing is you can call or text, but go to our website at avalancherecovery.com.
Excellent. Thanks again, Lee. Have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine, and we'll talk to you next week.
Really good.